One Bible, Many Agendas by Peter A. Amos. One Bible, Many Agendas. The Struggle Over Modern Christianity. The modern church no longer fights over kingdoms or crowns. It fights over meaning. In almost every generation, Christianity has splintered into competing camps, each claiming fidelity to the same Bible while arriving at wildly different conclusions. One preacher finds capitalism in Scripture. Another finds socialism. One sees radical inclusion. Another sees divine separation. One reads the book of Revelation as metaphor, another as tomorrow's headlines. And in an age of algorithms, outrage, and identity politics, the pressure on Christian leaders has become almost impossible to manage. The Bible has not changed, but the world reading it has. For centuries, theological disagreements moved slowly, debated through councils, letters, and seminaries. Today, interpretation happens in real time on YouTube, TikTok, and podcasts. A verse clipped into a 30-second video can become doctrine for millions before scholars have finished their morning coffee. The result is a Christianity increasingly shaped not just by faith, but by audience capture. Some pastors now build entire ministries around political tribes rather than theological depth. Progressive churches frame Jesus primarily as a social reformer. Conservative movements emphasize moral order and cultural resistance. Prosperity preachers turn ancient scripture into a blueprint for wealth accumulation. Nationalist Christians recast biblical narratives into stories about borders, identity, and power. The same text becomes a mirror reflecting whatever its readers already wanted to believe. Critics say this is nothing new. Christianity has always been fragmented. Martin Luther shattered Catholic unity in the 16th century. American churches split over slavery in the 19th century. Liberation theology transformed parts of Latin America in the 20th century. But historians argue today's divisions feel more volatile because technology rewards certainty over humility. In previous eras, clergy often spent decades studying languages, history, and theology before leading congregations. Now, charisma can outrun scholarship. A compelling personality with a microphone can gain influence faster than a seminary professor with 40 years of research. And once leaders gain followers, incentives change. To maintain attention, interpretations often become sharper, more emotional, and more partisan. Nuance performs poorly online. Certainty goes viral. This has left ordinary believers navigating a confusing landscape where two Christians quoting the same chapter can sound as if they belong to entirely different religions. Take the figure of Jesus himself. To some Christians, he is primarily a defender of the poor and marginalized, a man who overturned tables and challenged systems of exploitation. To others, he is the guardian of absolute moral truth, standing against cultural decay. Both groups quote Scripture confidently. Both insist they are restoring true Christianity. Meanwhile, younger believers increasingly distrust institutions altogether. Many describe themselves as spiritual but not religious, frustrated by churches they see as too political, too commercial, or too performative. The tension is particularly acute in Western democracies, where Christianity is no longer culturally dominant but still politically influential. Churches are pulled between adapting to modern society and resisting it. Leaders who compromise risk accusations of abandoning truth. Leaders who refuse risk irrelevance. It is a balancing act few survive unscathed. And unlike previous centuries, disagreement is now permanent and public. Social media ensures every sermon can become controversy, every pastor a potential culture war combatant. Some theologians warn that the deeper danger is not disagreement itself, but the loss of shared moral imagination. Christianity once provided many societies with a common language of meaning. Increasingly, believers inhabit separate informational worlds, each reinforced by their preferred influencers, denominations, and political identities. The question haunting modern Christianity is no longer simply, what does the Bible say? It is, who gets to decide what it means? And in a fragmented digital age, there may no longer be a single answer. Peter A. Amos, Open Gates Christian Organization, Empowering Lives, Opening Futures.